watching Cool TV.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by Kenny Omega. Oh, it's MJ. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and may I say that Kenny Omega doll, or maybe I shouldn't call him a doll, but still, it's pretty badass.
Like, thank you. I'm pretty stoked cool. About it.
Yeah, I love that. Like, he's in the Street Fighter gear and stuff. I am
power made flesh.
Oh, and he talks. That's
he talks
fucking
back.
Incredible. He talks back. Well, MJ is going to join us this week here on Pro Wrestling 60 because my partner, Crime Mr. B-Roll, unfortunately couldn't be with us. So thank you so much for setting in. Greatly appreciate this. It's going to be fun. And as he always says, the clock is ticking. So let's get right into our top story. And boy, oh boy, we were going to have a fun week. A lot of stuff to talk about this week. But top story, we got to talk about it. The debut of AEW Collision at the United Center. Been hyping this up for weeks. MJ, I got to ask you first off, did it live up to the hype in your mind?
I loved it. I've seen a lot of pros and cons on the internet. I don't care. I'm not listening to any of it. I loved it. I loved every second.
I thought it was a phenomenal show. I thought, like, what I enjoyed about it is it was AEW, but it felt different. A lot different than Dynamite. I love Dynamite personally, and they pack a lot in there. But this felt like it was more like paced out, more like focus on in-ring action. Not a whole lot of backstage segments, which I was totally cool with, you know. But I love the debut of this. I love the intro. I'm a huge fan of Elton John. I'm sorry. Like, then Saturday, oh, that was great. I know there's some people who are kind of like, well, that's not very wrestling, but you know what? It just makes me happy to see wrestling on a Saturday night again because that's what I grew up on, you know? So, although the only thing I make different is started at 8:05, but that's okay. It's all good. But nonetheless, I thought the first show, I thought they hit a home run. And I really enjoyed the set too, man. That set was sexy as AF, man. I mean, dude. I just loved every aspect about that set, the ramp and everything. I thought it was cool as hell.
Can I just say too, I was getting a kick out of it because you and I were doing voice memos back and forth, you know, the other night when this happened, and like on the beginning of every voice memo for like 3 messages, like that set was sexy. Like,
it really, I love it. I love it. I think it's my favorite AEW set so far. Like it is beautiful. The logo is great. And it was a loaded card too, man. Like, I mean, the return of Miro, that was awesome within itself. That United Center was rocking when he came out. Oh, man. And I tell you what, like, honestly, my favorite matchup of the night, I think, was Andrade El Idolo and Buddy Matthews. Like, that was physical as shit, man. Those guys beat the hell out of each other. The only thing I would have changed is perhaps involve a little bit more of the Los Ingobernables into it because I feel like that's where we're going towards is that faction against the House of Black. But, you know, it's all good. The women's tag match was great, too. I really enjoyed the Outcast against Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. And Sky Blue getting a huge moment there in the United Center, getting the pinfall victory. And, like, ridiculously over there in Chicago, too, man.
Loved it. I always love seeing the hometown hero get over like that too. So that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Sky Blue too. She's getting a push right now in AEW, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it is pretty cool to see like a homegrown talent. Like I know there's some people who kind of say, oh, well, she can't really cut a promo or whatever, but she'll get there in time. I mean, come on, you got to just let these things happen, but let's give her an opportunity. But all in all, man, I thought Collision was phenomenal. I mean, Also, too, we got to talk about it. Luchasaurus, your new TNT champion. Did
I
you see
know.
that coming?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah. I figured there was going to be a title change. I knew it had to be that. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it makes sense because it's on this show, I guess. But like, and it's the TNT title. It's just I
Mhm.
just feel like, can Wardlow ever get like a 6 to 8 month run with the damn thing? Like,
I know.
apparently that's not going to happen. But
I know.
we live in a world where a dinosaur is our TNT champion. But we got to talk about it. Obviously, what everybody's talking about, the return of CM Punk. And first and foremost, this moment right here was moment of the night for me. When
Yeah.
Joe tagged himself in that 6-man, oh,
Mhm.
baby. Oh, man. I was just like going back to like Ring of Honor from years ago, man. Like, oh, this was such a cool moment. And the exchange between the two, like, it was like they had missed a beat, man. And like
I loved it.
Joe didn't take it easy on him either, man. He was smacking the piss out of him.
It was awesome. It was so cool. Have you seen all the fun edits they've been doing on TikTok about this too? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is kind of what I envisioned when they announced this, is I wanted there to be like a stare down between them and just the crowd react to just like this holy shit moment. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what we got. So I was tickled pink with this confrontation. And like we say, Luchasaurus, your new TNT champion. Poor Wardlow. Is Dawn doing okay, by the way?
You know, the first thing I did was jump on her TikTok live and say, "She okay? She's okay. She's okay."
That's good. That's good. I hope Luchasaurus has a long run with the TNT championship, or I guess with like TNT years, that's like a month or two. But
Yeah.
I hope he gets like at least a couple decent like matches out of it. And I like Luchasaurus. I got no problem with him, but it's just that TNT title, man. It's just, I don't know, man. It is what it is.
I really want to see them build a good storyline with that belt and stop hot potatoing it
Right?
so much. Yeah.
Right? I mean, come on, man. But yes, as we all know, CM Punk did return to AEW. Got on the mic. Let's talk about it. What did you think of that promo, MJ?
He came in hot. He came in hot, as was expected. Man, the line too. I'm sure you're going to bring it up as well about the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
love the beginning where he took the like AEW like the little mic thing or whatever off, and then like
Yeah.
just got like a regular mic. So I don't know. This promo, it cut the lines between like uh, reality backstage like heat and stuff, as well as like what's like the storyline appears to be. He's coming
Mm-hmm.
back to challenge MJF, is what all signs are pointing towards, because he did come out with that bag. Never revealed what was in the bag, but it looked like it was the AEW Championship belt.
Yep, it sure did. And can I share my theory that I had with that?
Yes, please.
Just because they're talking about how MJF is going to no-show because he keeps referring to like New Japan as like an indie fed type of a thing, yeah, and how he's not taking it seriously. What if CM Punk stepped in because MJF no-shows at Forbidden Door?
Ooh, that would make sense, and we get Tanahashi and Punk
Mm-hmm.
at the match we thought we were getting last year. So I ain't
Yeah.
mad at it. Of course, personally, I think we're all in agreement too. There is a certain matchup we want to see at Forbidden Door with Punk in it, which hasn't officially been announced yet, but fingers crossed we get Punk and Kenta. Like,
I
I need
know.
that in my life.
Agree,
I want
man.
to manifest it, light up some or like put some crystals down, whatever, meditate. It's coming. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But Punk had a busy week this week, as we all knew. Of course, like his in-ring return in the trios match, which I thought he did great in. I think it was smart they
Yes.
put him in a trios match too. That way, it kind of covers if there's any sort of ring rust there. And plus, too, people forget he's coming off a damn injury. I mean, that's why there's really been this huge gap, is because of the injury. I think not so much like everything that happened at Brawl Out. But let's talk about the interview with ESPN, which I thought it was a good interview. It riled some feathers, that's for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I felt like I was there was some things that was interest to me. Like the biggest thing was the whole him and Hangman. I didn't realize like he had chipped his tooth at the Double or Nothing over a year ago, and that like he kind of called the match kind of crappy because he wasn't sure if he wanted to go in business for himself, return a receipt or whatever. So I found that aspect of it fascinating. I guess the real question is here: can we finally put Brawl out behind us?
I'm really hoping. And like you said about the injury, it is a bummer that he was out for the last 10 months because this could have all been smoothed over so much quicker and been less of an ordeal than it was, I feel like.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I really wish if we can move on. I think we will. But the Young Bucks retorting back all this weekend, too. First, talking about how Hangman Page was a good, decent human. And then this, a counterfeit Bucks shirt. Of course, Punk in his promo mentioning that about the counterfeit Bucks. And he's like one Bill Phil. So little fun with words there. But what do you think of the Young Bucks response to all this? Do you think it's a work? Is this immature? Or it's the Bucks?
Yes, yeah, it was hilarious. And it's really funny? Right before we jumped on this, I went and checked, and they already changed it back to Happy Father's Day. So it was only on there for a little bit. Yep. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, they know how to work a crowd, man. Whether it's in the ring or online. But I do think at some point this will build over time. There's some things for Punk to do first, I think, at AEW. But I think eventually roads are going to lead to where we will see an encounter between the Elite and CM Punk. And man, oh man, that is going to be interesting to see.
I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
This, to me, though, and I know to you too, this was the coolest fucking moment of the night, I think, of Collision, though. At the end of the show, CM Punk brought a fan into the ring and pretty much proceeded to cut a promo talking about the LGBTQ community and how to support especially youth members too. I thought that was fucking awesome, man.
I loved it. I definitely teared up at it. It was beautiful, especially the end where they're hugging the fan and Dax and Cash walk up and hug him and he's got tears in his eyes. It got me.
Yeah, and it's cool, and you and I were talking about this too, to think of like where we are in professional wrestling, and you go back to like, even 15, 20 years ago, like how that community is perceived in the world of professional wrestling as just like the classic, the feminine antagonist or whatever, and like, look where we are now, it's a good thing to see. Especially when you have wrestlers like Effie out there and stuff, because Effie's
love it. Yeah, happy Daddy's Day to Effie.
Yes, happy belated Daddy's Day to Effie.
Yes.
Well, in the WWE, the top story, as always, as the bloodline turns.
What a badass week in wrestling. I'm sorry.
Right?
So cool.
fucking A, man. But I gotta ask you this.
Okay.
Should Jey Uso be rewarded an Oscar this year, you think?
Yes.
I mean, my God, the promo where he's talking, he's just like, I'm main event, Jey, you're out. And I'm out too. And boom!
And boom!
It was like, wow, this was so fucking cool, man. Like, Jey, and that's not the only time he's done that, though, man. It's like, he's always been able to like get you in the palm of his hands. Like Jey Uso's work in the past 2 years has been second to none, man. Like he's almost the MVP, I think, of the bloodline.
I think so too. I really do.
And that definitely makes him our wrestler of the week. It's Jey Uso. Oos. Yeah.
He deserves it.
Yes, he does. I love me some Jey Uso, man. It's crazy to think because both Jimmy and Jay are phenomenal. Like in the tag team's incredible, but it's crazy to think like, man, sometimes you get this with tag teams. You look at the Hart Foundation. Greatest Jim Neidhart was, I mean, the career Bret Hart had, second. Same with the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty. Like Jay is becoming like that top tier guy. So I can't wait to see where we go from next from here. But Jey Uso is our wrestler of the week, and let's talk about our match of the week. Holy shit! MJF versus Adam Cole, baby, in a World Championship Eliminator match on Dynamite. This match was the epitome of fucking awesome. Yes, chef's kiss all the way. I love this matchup. I know some people are going to bitch about the blood capsule spot or whatever, and maybe it wasn't necessary, but still, it was a great fucking matchup nonetheless. Like, and the fact that it opened the show, and I really think it set the pace for the show, rest of the show, because Dynamite was fucking amazing this weekend. Like it was one of the best Dynamites I think I've seen in like 6 to 8 months. Like I was talking to you about it, and it was just like I was so jazzed afterwards. I think I stayed up till like 1 in the morning that night because I was just so like I was adrenaline off of that Dynamite.
It was so good, man. It was so good.
But this matchup, oh my god, this matchup was so good. And of course, going to a time limit draw. So it makes the story all the more interesting. Adam Cole asking for 5 more minutes. MJF says no. Yeah, but this is just the beginning of this rivalry.
I love it.
I feel like roads are going to lead to All In. I feel like this would be a perfect matchup for All In at Wembley Stadium, MJF versus Adam Cole.
Yes. Yes, yes, and yes, please.
Oh, my God. Yeah, take my money now, Tony Khan.
Exactly.
I also feel like, too, like, I feel like, okay, this is the Adam Cole I remember. And no disrespect to the feud with Jericho and all that and all the stuff he's done prior, but this truly felt like main event Adam Cole, baby.
Even when he walked out in like that baby blue gear, just looking like a badass, I was like baby face in the baby blue gear. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, dude. And it was our match of the week for sure. But Dynamite, my God, Dynamite was such a loaded show. Like we said, the pacing of it was phenomenal. Like with your opener, of course, MJF Adam Cole. How about I marked the fuck out Sting and Chris Jericho's confrontation?
Yes.
What?
I think that was my favorite moment of the night. It was so cool.
Yeah, and I love, too, how Jericho's just trolling the hell out of us. Like, he's on Twitter or something, or he said something in an interview, like, literally a week before. It's like, nah, I'm never going to work with Sting. Like, I have no desire to work with Sting. And then
yes,
it's like, you could totally do that in the SpongeBob meme 1 week later. Here we are.
1 week later.
I am so pumped. Like, we're getting a tag match here at some point between the Sex Gods and Darby and Sting. And, dude, I am all for it. Like, Jericho and Sting. And it's amazing to think, as long as their careers are and they've been in different companies at the same time, that they've never met before. It's crazy to think of that.
It is crazy.
But, my gosh, like, I was so ecstatic. With that segment. Hey, it had a great 8-man tag, too, where we got to see Sting in action with Darby, teaming up with Keith Lee and Orange Cassidy going up against the Embassy. Which, how cool. I was confused at first because I didn't catch the makeup, but how cool was it Brian Cage doing the tribute to Sting in that matchup, too? Like with
Very
the Sting
cool.
makeup.
And even his tights had the scorpion on them, too.
Yes,
yeah.
So it's like he goes from 1 week to crashing a wedding to the next week getting in the ring with Sting. It's pretty badass.
It's so badass.
Good to see Brian Cage.
He's having a good week.
Yeah, he's having a pretty damn good week. Have Wardlow retain his TNT championship against Jake Hager. Of course, he lose it a couple nights later, but whatever. Tony Storm and Sky Blue in a really good matchup for the AEW Women's title, I thought.
That was great.
I thought that was awesome. And then we got to talk about your main event, Blackpool Combat Club going up against the Hung Bucks, Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. Loved that the Young Bucks gear coming out was so freaking great with like the Hangman stuff. Oh my God. But the finish of this was like the multiverse of madness fucking opened up or something. It was just like, what? So you got like Eddie Kingston is back and returned.
He's back.
Yeah. and it looks like he may be siding with the Elite. Like, what the hell? Because it's interesting, that dynamic, because he's still friends with Mox, but he hates the rest of the BCC. But thinking this is Eddie we're talking about, and he hates a lot of people. So I don't know if he's going to join up with those guys or not, but it's great to see Eddie Kingston back on my TV. I need some more Eddie. And
It was
he's
awesome.
getting ready. Oh, yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, it was. And he's getting ready to gear up for the G1 Climax tournament, too. So that's going to be interesting. But then you get Takeshita comes out with that evil Don Callis. Kenny, of course, comes out. And then the moment of the night, Will Ospreay shows up and attacks Kenny Omega, thus getting ready for Forbidden Door. Like, my mind was just like, with all the craziness that was going on at the end of this match.
He came back and hit him again, too. He went for it twice. Beating up my man.
He's taking it out on Kenny. I love me some Kenny, but I do love me some of the Commonwealth Kingpin, Will Ospreay. But I think the coolest thing of the night, though, that we got to see is like all the additions to your Forbidden Door card. And MJ, this is shaping up to be phenomenal pay-per-view already with what's been announced.
It's going to be the best one of the year, right? It's got to be.
By far, dude. By far. I mean, already. Now, these are the matches that are officially announced. We do know we're getting Danielson against Okada. We know we're getting Kenny Omega against Will Ospreay 2 for the U.S. title. We did find out MJF against Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW title, which shocked the hell out of me. Like, I really didn't think MJF would be working on this show. And like you say, it's a possibility he may not. But regardless, Tanahashi in the U.S. is always a good thing. Whether he's against MJF, CM Punk, I don't care. It's going to be fucking awesome. Very surprised with the IWGP Championship, though, as Sonata will be defending against Jungle Boy. So this was kind of the part, and this is like where it's the spoiled wrestling fan in me is just like, because I was really hoping we get like some other big name like a Moxley or something against Sonata, but we're getting Jungle Boy. But honestly, this match has got all the potential to steal the show on this card because these both are amazing talents.
I keep saying that too. I think it's going to be the sleeper match of the night, honestly. I think it's going to take it by storm.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Now, these are the ones that are officially announced, but I'm almost positive we are going to get Zack Sabre Jr. against Orange Cassidy, as that's been teased, which, oh my God, that's another one of those matchups where it's like, okay, I didn't realize I need to see that, but that's going to be an amazing matchup if it happens. And then Kenta and Punk, we're still holding out for that. And that's the thing. There's still going to be plenty more matches announced this week, too. May even get Katsuyori Shibata against Daniel Garcia on this card. Who knows? But Forbidden Door is shaping up to be one hell of a event. That's for sure. All right. Well, it's come that... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm so stoked. I can't wait for it.
Dude, it's going to be amazing. Well, it's come that time in the show. Let's go to Bree with our Tribal Queens tidbit of the week.
Guys, I see you, Tribal Queen Bree, with your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week. And normally, come to you with happy stuff going on, like Austin Theory or going to your local independent promotions. But today, it's very sad. I want to speak to Tony Khan. Why the fuck did you take the belt off of Wardlow and give it to Luchasaurus? How many times has it been passed back and forth between Wardlow and Hobbs, Wardlow and this person, Wardlow and that person? Leave it on Wardlow. Leave it on anybody for like a couple months or something. Give them a worthy title reign. Like, instead of flip-flopping. Can you not make up your mind? Really? And first, Luchasaurus taking out for Wardlow. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But... see how this goes. Wardlow win it back in like next show. And that was your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week.
A lot of people out there pissed about Luchasaurus winning that TNT title, and I can understand, man.
I get it.
A multitude of levels, but I'm sure War Daddy will get it back here in the next couple weeks or something. But we will see. How about this? Mommy's got a new belt. I just
How Dom ran out to put it on her too. It was too perfect.
oh my god, yes, it was so damn funny. And the internet fans, everybody online's kind of griping and bitching about this new design, like copy and paste pretty much. I'm not so much pissed about that. I just wish we had more of a. It's the names are confusing. So my understanding is Asuka has the undisputed women's championship and Rhea is the women's champion. How the hell did Asuka become the undisputed champion? I don't understand that.
Exactly.
Universal, I get. If you did Universal and then world champion, okay, that makes sense. I can get that, but the whole swapping around with these titles and stuff, I don't know. It's getting exhausting at this point, but I'm not as angry at the design of this belt.
No, I like it better than Roman's, actually, to be honest with you. I think it's beautiful.
You know what?
Seth's, not Roman's. I'm so sorry.
No. Well, honestly, I do like it more than Roman's, and I like it more than Asuka's. I think the Raw, which is crazy to say this because when they first debuted that World Heavyweight Championship, a lot of people were like, ugh. But I think like those designs are better than the designs on SmackDown, if I'm being honest.
100% agree. Yep.
But I don't know. But Mommy is champion. Look at Dom there, just looking so happy that his mommy got the new belt. Gosh. Hey, let's talk about the rest of Monday Night Raw, which MVP once again for me is the Judgment Day. They knocked it out of the park again with a multitude of segments. Of course, Rhea getting that world championship. We got Cody against The Miz. And Cody is going to go up against Dom at Money in the Bank now.
Wild.
Cody, if I was you, buddy, I mean, you went against the Tribal Chief. You went against the Beast, but I don't know if you can handle like a prisoner like Dom. An ex-con.
He's got to bring a shiv with him.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I would be scared if I was you, Cody, because Dom's gonna bring that heat, son. Also, how about Damian Priest defeating Riddle to qualify for Money in the Bank?
Yep.
Which was awesome. Love seeing me some Priest. I do have a little gripe with a segment this week on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And that was the Seth Rollins Finn Balor promo. Because the crowd singing is one thing, it's fine, but like just it was like, okay, come on. Finn's got some serious shit to say. Like, this is a storyline that's been building for years, and it's like all they can do is sing. It's like, come on, it's like the what stuff. I hate to say that because I mean I love me some Seth. Don't get me wrong, but there's like a time and a place, and that was not the time. But they handled it pretty good, all things considering. But man, I really wish people would have been more in tune for that promo because that was really awesome. And now we're getting Finn against Seth at Money in the Bank as well, which I could not wait to see that matchup as well.
It's gonna be good.
But yeah, I thought Raw was a pretty good show. I feel like the Raws here in these past couple of weeks have kind of been hit or miss, but I feel like the last couple of weeks they've been pretty decent. It's not. It's been put to you this way. It's like it's not like dragging like it used to be with the 3 hours, in my opinion. But I still think it would be better if they went to 2 hours. But I'm an old man, so get the hell off my porch. I gotta get to bed. Let's talk about SmackDown. And I was so happy that Pretty Deadly won the tag team gauntlet to become the new #1 contenders for KO and Sammy. I love me some Pretty Deadly. How do you feel about Pretty Deadly?
I like them. People were heated about this online too. I saw so much hate that they got about this.
They shouldn't be hating. Y'all should love. I love me some Pretty Deadly. I love the gimmick, man. I think it's cool that they're already getting a title shot. I mean, they're not going to win, but or could they? You never know. Anything
Never know.
in the world of professional wrestling. the Grayson Waller effect. I thought that was a tremendous segment with Charlotte, and then Bianca coming on, kind of owning Charlotte's ass. That was.
Yes.
It's just like you can hold the belt for 14 times or whatever, but I'm the longest reigning champion in the modern era. So it's like, hell, I would much rather take that myself too.
Yep.
But and I once again, them seeds are planted. It looks like we are going to get a Bianca Belair heel turn here before too long. How do you feel about that? About Bianca turning heel?
Oh, I don't Bianca face, Bianca heel. I just love Bianca in general.
I agree. I love Bianca in general too. I think there is some hesitation by WWE because Bianca draws really well with girls, and rightfully so. But
Yes.
I don't know. I think fresh coat of paint for Bianca. I think it'd be the right time to do it. And apparently she's going to be at ringside when Asuka defends that women's championship, or I'm sorry, the undisputed women's championship against Charlotte. So, but
so confusing.
It is so damn confusing. We had a mixed tag with AJ Styles and Michin going up against Karrion Kross and Scarlett. It's always great to see Scarlett in ring too. I don't think people realize like she's a really good worker. Like I loved her stuff she used to do back in like Impact Wrestling stuff. So it's awesome to see her in the ring. And LA Knight against Santos Escobar, kind of a preview of those guys going to be involved in the Money in the Bank. And speaking of which, we've got an updated card for Money in the Bank. And I feel like we know what the main event here is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The Bloodline Civil War. Yes, we are going to get Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa against the Usos. How do you feel about this matchup, MJ?
Oh, I'm stoked for it. I can't wait.
I am too. I know there's some people out there griping like, "Oh, well, we're continuing on with like this damn story." But dude,
it's not over.
It's not over. We're far from over. We got so much more story to tell here. And like I think the way they've paced it, especially this year, has been phenomenal. I love it. I love every bit of it. I'm excited to see this matchup. And here's the thing: what we're talking about tag team wrestling, and like tag team wrestling for years, especially in the WWE, has just been kind of like, eh. But like, there's a story, there's a purpose behind this. So this is gonna be awesome. London, you're getting a great Money in the Bank card because also you're getting Seth freaking Rollins against Finn Balor. That's gonna be a classic for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
The UK is going to get tons of great wrestling this year. I'm jealous.
Yeah, they are, and they're getting the Wembley show too. It's like, just want to jump across the pond. And you're going to get the demise of Cody Rhodes to the ex-con Dominic. I'm calling it now. The story ends at Money in the Bank. Look at Dom. That doesn't look like a man you want to mess with.
That's a hardened criminal.
Cody, what are you thinking, dude? Like, I mean, it's one thing to challenge the Beast Brock Lesnar, but now you want to fight Dominic Mysterio?
I really hope he comes out in a prison van again like he did at WrestleMania.
Oh, that would be great.
What if it's like a prison version of like one of the double-decker buses?
Oh my God, I was just thinking that. He's got like a English cop or whatever. I forget what the term is, but they got like the hat and the Billy Club thing and stuff. That'd be amazing. So many
that would be
Papa H, if you're listening, make sure that's Dom's entrance.
Manifesting.
Yes, and I tell you what too, I'm hoping the match still happens because can Dom travel overseas since he's got like a prior record?
Oh my God!
I mean, I hope the match happens, but I'm just saying. But we've also got your men and females Money in the Bank matchups. These are interesting Money in the Banks to me because like the men's especially, I could see any of those guys winning, really. I mean, like, they're both, and I know, once again, we go back to mid-carders, like, well, you got to get a push somehow, folks, and what better way to do it than to win the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Yep.
Now, of course, oh, yeah, dude. And, of course, there could be more surprises added to this. I hope not. I hope it just stays as it is, because, in my opinion, this is LA Knight's time. Yeah!
I'm trying so hard not to just focus on that for myself because I've been disappointed by WWE so many times and I want it so bad. I want an LA Knight W so bad.
It needs to happen, dude. It needs to happen. Papa H, make it happen. And then in the women's Money in the Bank, we got Damage Control with Io Sky, Bailey, Selena Vega, Becky Lynch, it's Zoe Stark. My understanding, I think there is one more female to qualify, and it's this week on Raw. Trish Stratus is going to go up against Raquel Rodriguez, so that'll be interesting to see. But
I think they're both going to be great matches, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I think both of them will be great. And then I don't think it's officially been announced, but we know it looks like Pretty Deadly is going to go up against KO and Sammy, as well as Asuka against Charlotte.
Yeah.
But Money in the Bank, it's another loaded WWE card, man. I feel like we've kind of talked about this before on prediction shows and stuff here on Cold TV. I feel like WWE, the road to get to some of these shows, sometimes it's great. Like the stuff with the Bloodline, phenomenal. And sometimes it gets put together and you're kind of like, it's kind of confusing or whatever. But at the pay-per-view, which that's right, it's still a pay-per-view. It ain't no damn premium live event. It always delivers. And I feel like that's going to be the same here at Money in the Bank.
Agree. I like that Zoe's in the Money in the Bank match as well. I like that they're going to spotlight her a little bit.
Right. Yes. I'm loving what they've done with her on Monday Night Raw so far. So, because I'm a huge Zoe Stark fan. So. Well, it is that time in the show. It's been a while, but Ron's got a couple things he wants to get off his chest. So let's go to Ron with a little Grind My Gears.
All right, listen up. Ron's back here, and there's a lot of things that grind my gears this week. So let's talk about them. First, I want to talk about how Wardlow done launched the damn TNT title to a dinosaur. I mean, come on. This damn TNT title's like a hot potato. It's like I never know who's going to win and who's got it next, man. This is getting ridiculous. Tony Khan, you need to do something better with this championship. And why in the hell is a dinosaur your champion, man? What's going to happen next, man? You going to do like a show in Jurassic Park? Like, come on, man. Get with the program. I saw some footage this week where Jeff Hardy had a fan approach him at the airport with a bunch of autographs, man. Giving out one autograph's one thing, but a bunch of them, you know this guy's damn well going to sell them on eBay or some stuff, man. That's a bunch of bull crap. You want an autograph, you need to pay for a ticket at a meet and greet. Come up then. That's the right time if you want to get multiple autographs. If you want to approach me in an airport, I'll tell you what I would do. I would take your ass out back, beat the hell out of you, and then take all your damn money and go buy a bunch of beer. Damn! And that's what grinds my gears this week.
Ron telling it like it is, man. He doesn't like the change either, man. A lot of people pissed off at the TNT title.
Yep. A lot of people are mad about the dinosaur.
I know. They just don't want to get up on that floor. Everybody doesn't want to do the dinosaur. I don't know why. Maybe it was like the 90s, whatever.
Not the mama.
Not the mama, yes. And if you know, you know. Let's talk about NXT this week, which another solid show. I thought NXT's been impressing me like these past ever since Mania, really. But on NXT this week, we had a 6-man tag with Wes Lee, Tyler Bate, and Mustafa Ali going up against the Schism. Which I'm still kind of confused on that because I thought like the I can't think of their name in Schism, but Grizzled Young Veterans. I thought they asked for their release, but yet they're still there. And I thought they were granted it. So I don't know, but I just love seeing the Schism, and I wish they wouldn't break up. Apparently, we've got a match set for next week. It's going to be Braun Baker against Seth freaking Rollins for that World Heavyweight Championship. So that's going to be awesome to see Seth return back home to NXT. Cora Jade against Thea Hale, which that's another one of my favorites right now. I really am loving Thea Hale, like on NXT as part of. I always want to say Duke University. I always forget the name of like their faction, but whatever. You get the idea. So, and if you don't, you could always Wikipedia that shit. Just saying. But yeah, I thought that was a surprise. Thea Hale like submitting. Cora Jade, I didn't see that coming. It's like, damn, but good for her nonetheless. Nathan Frazier with a big upset win too, as he ended up defeating her winning the Heritage Cup from Oro Mensa, who was like substituting for Noam Dar, which that was kind of confusing to me, but whatever. And that Heritage Cup thing, I'm still trying to understand the rules, so don't hate me, internet. I'm just saying. But overall, man, NXT was a pretty solid show. And Baron Corbin and Ilya Dragunov going at it for #1 contendership, which I was so confused. Is like, why the fuck is Baron Corbin now wrestling in basketball shorts? I don't get it.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. One of these things is not like the other, and that just felt really off. But overall, NXT, I thought was a solid show, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. And speaking of solid shows, how about Rampage this week? Aubrey Edwards wrestling, making her in-ring debut, teaming up with Mark Briscoe and Papa Briscoe, going up against Jay Lethal and Jeff and Karen Jarrett. It was cool to see her in the ring, I thought.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved her. I loved seeing her get to take the guitar over Jay Lethal, too. That was pretty awesome. I was hoping it was going to be Karen, but, I'll take it.
Yeah. It's like she's going to get her day one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Chaos going up against the United Empire. That was pretty cool. Get to see Will Ospreay on Rampage. It's always fun.
So
and
sweet.
Takeshita against Bandito was awesome. And we right before we went on here, like, we got to talk about this for a minute. Like, you are loving the Takeshita entrance, right?
Oh my God, that little like image with him and Don Callis. It's just like I had to pause it like 3 times. Like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? It's hilarious. Well done.
Well done indeed. But Rampage, once again, like, we were blessed this week. So many good shows, man. And hey, speaking of other great shows, on Saturday night, GCW's Thank Me Later took place back home in Los Angeles at the Ukrainian Center where they were for WrestleMania weekend. But this is really excited, MJ, because our beloved Best Gout Machine was actually on hand for this show. And we've got a report from him from GCW's Thank Me Later. So let's check this out.
Oh shit. I believe in you.
Folks, that was GCW Thank Me Later, and as I lay here in bed completely naked, with my body exposed to the world, it was an amazing event. I wish everyone could appreciate and enjoy indie wrestling, game changer wrestling, and my naked body. But none of you will enjoy it, for it belongs to my wife, who is very happy with this sensual body. Shania Twain. Oh my God, I have zits.
Oh, Best Scout, we love you, buddy. And thank you so much for that amazing report. I just love like when when Nick Cage comes like right around and like, I love you. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, love it. But yeah, GCW always delivers. Had another great show, another great weekend. And speaking of stuff that happened over the weekend, Roman Reigns actually was on a house show. That's right. He was in Cincinnati as he successfully retained his Universal Championship against Rey Mysterio in a very rare appearance on a house show. And a lot of people saying, and it could be, I don't know, this was done to kind of counteract AEW Collision being on. But, I mean, it's not like they aired this on the Peacock or anything like that. So, I don't know. Like, it's cool, like, to see him, especially a huge treat for fans in Cincinnati, too, you know, to get to see the Tribal Chief.
Was it announced ahead of time or was it a surprise?
No, I think it was announced ahead of time. Like, I think there were certain dates, but yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, Cincinnati got to be treated to a successful title defense from their Tribal Chief. But Cincinnati, guess what? Your chili still sucks. There, I said it. Oh. How about this? Carlito is coming back to the WWE as he had several independent dates, but he's had to cancel them. And pretty much, I think he's even come out. I think he was on a show this weekend. He said, yeah, I'm going back to the WWE. So, I mean, this is awesome. I think this is well deserved. He has done a phenomenal job on the indies. Like, he's got himself in the best shape of his life. So I think this is good for him. I'm glad to see. I always enjoyed Carlito. And hey, I got to see one of his last indie shows, which was at the Tri-State Wrestling's Ante Up, which that vlog's available now here on Cold TV. I'm just saying. But Carlito, nonetheless, looks like he is back home in the WWE. How do you feel about this, MJ?
I mean, after the reception he received at Backlash, I think he deserves it, especially like that moment to kind of showcase to fans how much everyone cares about him and missed him and was excited to see him. Yeah, I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely you get a "you deserve it" chant for him when he comes back. Well, this is an interesting story that broke this week. Apparently, the WWE's media rights with both Fox and USA is about to come to an end next year. And there's a lot of different companies interested, but one of them that seems like could be a front runner is Disney. Disney and the WWE together, like WWE part of the House of Mouse. I mean, if you think about it, though, it does kind of make sense considering like Disney owns ESPN. ESPN has a great working relationship with the UFC. Of course, WWE now under that ownership with the UFC, so it could be, dude. It could become. I could go to Disney Plus and I can like freaking watch Star Wars. I can watch any of the MCU movies, and then I can watch a bunch of old school like world class championship wrestling all on the same channel. Fuck yeah, dude! Like take my money now. It's like, yeah, new episodes of The Mandalorian followed by Legends House season 2 or something. Let's go. Let's go. Mickey, you can have my money. I got you now, WWE. Oh, and this. Yes. One Logan Paul. This fucking guy. Logan Paul apparently will be making his return to the WWE and will be on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw. What do you think this is setting up for, MJ?
I mean, Money in the Bank is right around the corner, or it could be setting up for SummerSlam, but I'm thinking it's going to be something for Money in the Bank.
I feel like a lot of people's predicted this, including our good close personal friend Hambone has said this, I believe, many a times. Logan Paul will win Money in the Bank this year, and honestly, I hope that doesn't fucking happen. Like, if it does, I get it, but I would much rather have LA Knight win it. But like you said earlier, it's like WWE tends to like fuck up things that I really like. So I don't know. We'll see. But yes, Logan Paul will be making his triumphant return to the WWE on Monday Night Raw. Well, this was an awkward story this week. BJ Whitmer, a longtime wrestler, of course, in Ring of Honor, working backstage for AEW here in recent years, was released from the company due to a domestic violence report coming out. So you always hate to hear stories like this. Don't know what the situation is. Don't really need to know. There's no need for any of that shit. Like at any time, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. Like I always liked watching BJ Whitmer and Ring of Honor, but I hate to hear this, man. But it is what it is. But on a positive note, they did get a replacement for him right away, as Jimmy Jacobs has been hired as a new AEW agent. MJ, are you familiar with Jimmy Jacobs' past work in like Ring of Honor or anything like that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Dude, this guy is very talented. He has a great mind for wrestling. His work in Ring of Honor was phenomenal. Teaming up with like Seth Rollins or Tyler Black back in
Okay.
the day. Like he's got a phenomenal resume. I think he's gonna fit in great, like backstage as like a producer with AEW. And I think he was working as a producer for Impact, and I think they got him from Impact, I want to say. And I think he's also worked backstage for WWE too. So he's definitely got the experience. He can bring a lot to the table and really help them. And speaking of other names, Chris Hero, or as some of you may remember, Cassius Ono, uh, was backstage at Collision, also working as an agent as well. So I'm enjoying like they're bringing in these great talents who just didn't really get like their true like I don't know, like their spotlight, if you will, because they were in Ring of Honor or whatever. So it's great to see like Chris Hero back too, and I think he's another one's got a tremendous mind for professional wrestling, man. So it's great to see Chris Hero. I think back in that type of role, and I think he'll do great. So, ooh baby, this John Moxley has challenged Desperado to a final death match. Now, I don't know what the hell that really is. I would assume it's a death match, but it's New Japan, so may not be an actual death match. But did you hear about this?
I didn't. I was confused because I thought when Moxley re-signed his deal with AEW, there was a clause where he couldn't participate in death matches. So I was a little bit thrown off.
Yeah, but then again, MJ, this isn't a death match. It's a final death match.
Oh, God, that does sound like a good loophole. All right, that's fair.
Maybe that's why this is called that. I don't know, man. I didn't even think about that until you said that. So I don't know, but regardless, we're gonna get Desperado against Moxley, and I think that is gonna be a fucking awesome matchup, and I cannot wait to see it. Some sad news this week. Good old JR sustained an injury this past Saturday. Of course, he's had some health scares in the past with his cancer battles, and obviously he's getting older. Unfortunately, fell down, got a black eye. He was able to work the Collision taping, but not. I don't think he was able to like. I don't know if the plan was for him to be on the whole show or not, but he just worked the main event. But it's one of those things where I think it's coming down to the end of his great career. I mean, he's done so much, so I mean, there's not really a whole lot more he can do. But God, I love me some Jim Ross, man.
Me too.
It's my childhood right there. Is that man?
I was gonna say that too. I know.
Yep. Slobberknocker. Good God, I feel like some of my verbiage I've learned from JR like growing up. But just saying. But we wish you a speedy recovery to the all-time great Jim Ross. How about this? A kind of little cross promotional, if you will, outside of the ring of wrestling. So Jeff Hardy apparently had a concert, and shockingly enough, people showed up to it. Yeah, there, I said it. But Karrion Kross was at his show. Of course, Karrion
Oh,
Kross.
really?
Yeah, Karrion
Oh.
Kross, currently a WWE contracted wrestler. So, yeah, Karrion Kross showing some support, showing some love for the one charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. But,
That's cool.
oh, dear God, this man. Yes. If you're a longtime wrestling fan like I am, and MJ is, you'll remember this man terrifying you as a child. Nails. That's right, Nails is going to come back to the world of professional wrestling after being gone for 20-some years. He's doing some appearances or something. So I didn't really have that on my bingo card for 2023. Pretty fucking random, but yep, Nails is coming back to the world of wrestling. Hey, speaking of random, it's that time of the show. Let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week.
Hello. Yes, this is still Brian, not some imposter wearing the hat. Yes, I ran the trimmer over my beard this past week, a few days ago. You can see the stubble still there, so I'm not cleanly sleek shaven. So it is still me with my lazy eye and all that junk. So, regardless, back on the PW60, and time for my random moment of the week, and continuing the series about your ultimate versions of certain factions from history and or current factions. Last week we looked at D-Generation X. Break it down. Anyway, so I'm going to move on to another faction from the same time. In fact, when D-Generation X, led by Triple H, at that point, were baby faces, around 1998, who were they feuding with? That's right, another faction. Nation of Domination. We are the Nation of Domination. Yeah, actually a pretty sick beat on their background song. So here's what I want. Similar to last week, we're going to go with 5 members of the Nation of Domination. Same rules apply. This time we're going to go a 2-1-2 format. Kind of sounds like I'm coaching basketball or something. So 2 being pick 2 long-term members to stay in the faction. Pick 1 member who might have been a part-time, temporary, kind of an honorary member, anything in that category. But then the final 2 picks, this is where it gets interesting, is pick 2 people who were never in the faction at any point ever, in any version of it, anything at all. So 2 originals, or 2 long-term, 1 short-term / temporary / honorary, that kind, and 2 who were never in the faction. And leave your comments below on this video, and check out all the rest of the PW60 crew, and very much appreciative to be a part of it. Thank you guys very much, you guys and gals, and look forward to seeing hopefully some comments with the answer to this. And if you thought about last week with DX, NWO before that, any of the past ones, of course, leave those in the comments as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing your answers. Goodbye for now. Very fool!
Love me some Brian and love us some Wrestle Talk. And hey, it's that time. Let's talk about our Wrestle Talk Content Creator of the Week. And MJ, I gotta just say, I just discovered this guy, but our Creator of the Week this week is Joslu Casanova. And this guy's awesome because he does covers of wrestling themes playing the saxophone. Have you seen this guy? Oh, yeah. This guy is freaking awesome. He's got an amazing cover he just put out the other day of Rhea Ripley's song. He covers Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes' theme. This guy is awesome. And if you're not following him, you should give him a follow. He is our
follow him right now.
Hell yeah, dude. He is our Wrestle Talk Content Creator of the Week. Well, hey, Cody Rhodes, the real life hero that he is, coming in clutch once again because there was a fan who was going to go to a house show, and unfortunately they had to sell their tickets or something, or couldn't go for whatever reason, but then it come to where they could go. And what's Cody Rhodes do? He sees this tweet. He's like, I got you. And he's getting them some tickets to go to that house show. And it was pretty cool, too, because it's like a father-son, like, going to this show. So I just love me some Cody, man. He's such a good guy. Look at that face. Look at that baby face. Love me some Cody.
That's amazing. What a
God, and then you talk about this.
On the other note, wow, that was a 180.
Yep. Oh, dear God, that photo's scary. So Ryback made some comments this week that he could get AEW the ratings that it so desperately needs. Dude, no. Just fucking go away, man. Just fucking go away. Go choke on some fucking protein shakes or choke down some protein shakes or something. Just get out of here. Like, MJ, I can't stand this guy.
We have enough injuries on the AEW roster. Please stay away.
Yeah. Stay the hell away. How about this beef? Talk about another one that's random. The Disco Inferno and Kenny Omega getting into it on Twitter this week. Of course, the Disco Inferno always just saying stupid shit just to rile people up as far as I'm concerned. And then Kenny Omega, I love his response. It's like, you must have, I'm sorry, you're he said something to the effect of like, you've been huffing the Big Show's farts like for over the years. It's affected your brain capacity or something. But yeah.
I had not seen a photo of Disco Inferno. I thought that was like a sad Ted Cruz for a second when I did a double. I had to do a double take.
That's the Disco Inferno. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Disco Inferno. Not gonna lie. Well, hey, this week also it was announced that Scott D'Amore will be returning to the ring as he'll be teaming up with Frankenstein's Monster PCO to go up against Bully Ray and Steve Macklin at Impact Slammiversary. So it'll be cool to see Scott D'Amore back in the ring. And finally, our last story this week here on PW60. Payback is coming Saturday, September the 2nd, Labor Day weekend, which is kind of interesting because typically that is all-out weekend, and we still don't know if we're getting an all-out, but WWE's jumping on the gun here, and they're going to have a pay-per-view. So, I don't know. This will be interesting to see how this all goes down.
Wow.
Well, we have come to the end of another PW60 here. Real quick, MJ, why don't you give us a little plug-a-palooza? Tell us where we can find you, my friend.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Xlj. This week was awesome. Had a great time. You can find me, Miss Hill Ziegler, on Instagram and TikTok.
There you go. And she's got some amazing, awesome videos, some hunts where she goes into like Burlington Coat Factory and so much more. Let's go wrap it up for this week's episode of PW60. And we will see you next week here on another episode of Pro Wrestling 60.